So, example number 3. Now, let's try to solve something like this. X plus 10 all underneath the square root plus 2 equals x. So, once again, before we attempt anything, check for yourself. How many radical terms exist? I'm seeing only one radical term. So, this equation here is a one radical term. That's a good thing. Again. Are all my terms isolated? Not yet. Now, here on the left-hand side, I'm seeing a mix between radical term and non-radical term. So I need to bring my, well, the radical term itself already on the left side anyway, so why don't we keep it there on the left side, the non-radical term. This only one, I'm going to subtract it to the right-hand side. So now I'm going to turn my equation into square root of x plus 10 equals x minus 2. Okay? And so, all I have to do now, at this point, after you finish isolating all the terms, square the right side, square the left side. Basically, you square both sides of the equation. And that's going to give me, once again, same trick that we picked up in the previous problem. To square the right-hand side, the only access for you is the FOIL. You cannot just simply do x squared minus 2 squared. So here I'm going to have x squared minus 4x plus 4. Think about this as the x minus 2 times x minus 2 again. The left-hand side, the square root cancel with the square, give me just simply x plus 10. Once again, at this point, all you have to do is just simply rearrange the terms. And now, once again, as I have explained earlier, I want to rearrange the term in a way that it keeps my x squared term positive. So now my x squared term appearing on the right-hand side is already positive itself, so it's always a good idea to subtract, to keep it on the right side and subtract all the terms from the left-hand side. So I'm subtracting 10 and subtracting x from both sides. That gives me x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Once again, one more time. If you're not comfortable with looking at the equation this way, where the 0 is on the left side, all the terms on the right-hand side, you can just simply turn it around, just like that. X squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Now at this point, once again, to solve for this quadratic, I am going to use factoring. It's my only access to it. So I have produce for myself 2 pairs of parentheses. One of them I have x plus 1, x minus 6 equals 0. And so once again, immediately I'm going to have x plus 1 equals 0, x minus 6 equals 0. Produce for myself, I have just produced for myself 2 sub-equations. Here, subtracting 1 from both sides gives me x equals negative 1. Adding 6 from both sides, second equation, giving me x equals 6. So now I'm going to end up with 2 answers. But once again, keep in mind, you need to check for each one of these answers here to see if it works in the equations. Otherwise, if none of them work, we have no solution. And so, in your checking step, okay? For x equals negative 1, let's see if it works. You plug that into the equation, the left-hand side appears to be negative 1 plus 10, and then plus an extra 2 outside is that all equals to a negative 1. Okay, and you can see that here on the left-hand side, you have positive square root of 9 plus a 2, and is that all equals to a negative 1. But I can see positive square root of 9 is a 3 plus 2. Are you seeing all this here all equals negative 1? The answer is no. So my first answer here is not going to work. So let's now check the other one. X equals 6. for x equals 6. So let's check to see if it works. Okay. In the starting equation, in the original equation, 6 plus 10 underneath the square root plus a 2, is that all going to be equal to 6? 6 plus 10 is a 16, so I have square root of 16 plus 2. We're still putting question marks. Is that equal to 6? Square root of 16, yes, it equals 4 plus 2. 6. Okay. And that's going to be 6 equals 6. So I put a check mark right there. So that means x equals 6 is one answer for us. So once again, even though you found two different answers at first, but only one of them worked. And this is the only solution to this starting equation. X plus 10 underneath square root plus 2 equals x. Example number 4. We want to solve again. And this time, let's say we have x minus square root 2x plus 5 equals 5. Okay? And once again, how many root terms do we have here? How many root terms do we have? There's only one root term. So this equation here is still a one radical term. Okay? And are all the terms isolated? Not quite. I mean, I have, on the left-hand side, once again, I have a mix between radical terms and non-radical terms. Yes. And so I need to rearrange the terms. Now, this time I prefer to bring the radical term to the right-hand side because starting out on the left-hand side it has a negative sign, so I do not like that. So I want to add the square root of 2x plus 5 to both sides. And that leaves me x equals 5 plus square root of 2x plus 5. No, but not quite isolated yet. I need to subtract the 5 away from both sides because once again I'm looking for just only one on the root term, on the radical terms on one side, and on the non-radical terms on the opposite side. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. That gives me x minus 5 equals square root of 2x plus 5. Okay? And so now, at this point here, when you finish isolating all the terms here, all the non-radical terms on one side, all the radical terms on the other side, now you can just simply square both sides. 2x plus 5, the whole side, square root, square all that. The left-hand side, x minus 5, all squared. That gives me x squared minus 10x plus 25. All that here equals 2x plus 5. You can see that once again on the right hand side the square root just simply gets cancelled away. So now the next step here is once again let's start handling this quadratic equation here. I'm subtracting 2x from both sides and subtracting 5 from both sides. And that gives me x squared minus 12x plus 20 equals 0. And when it comes to this step, once again, you can just simply solve for it by factoring. And what I'm seeing here is x minus 2, x minus 10 on a 2 number equals 0. And so immediately it's going to give me x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 10 equals 0. And that gives me x equals 2, that's one of them. That's 10 to both sides. X equals 10. It's my second answer. So now, but then I'm not going to stop right here yet. I need to once again go back to my starting equation and check. So in my checking step, Okay? For x equals 2, let's check, see what happens here. You plugging it back into the starting equation, and that's going to give me 2 minus square root of 2 times 2 plus 5, and let's see if it all equals to 5. Okay? And you can see that if you compute the left-hand side right here, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 5 is a 9, square root of 9 is a 3, so we have 2 minus 3. Is it really equals to 5? And the answer is no. Okay, so that means the first answer here is going to be taken out. Okay, now let's check for 10. So when x equals 10, what's going to happen? The left-hand side, 2 minus square root of 2 times 10 plus 5. Okay, and let's say if it's all equals to 5. Okay, we want to find out on that. And so here the left-hand side, I can see that 2 times 10 is 20 plus 5 is 25. Square root of 25 is a 5. 2 minus 5, 2 minus 5 is that equals to 5 once again. And no again, there's no answer. So, in this case, in this problem, what's going on here? We found 2 answers ever, but none of them actually worked for the equation. We went a long way. We went a long way finding the 2 answers here, and then none of them worked. So, my only little conclusions to this equation here is there is no solution. Okay? There's no solutions to this problem. Once again, we've worked a long way. Right? And we found 2 answers ever. However, when we checked, none of them worked. So the answer here has to be a no solution.